Have you ever looked at yourself and thought, why do I keep doing things I swore I would never do? Like apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong, abandoning your boundaries, going back after you said you were done. And it starts to feel embarrassing, humiliating, like you've become a puppet, like you don't even have free will anymore. But what if that isn't weakness? What if something is actually shaping your behavior without you even realizing it? I'm Lise Leblanc, and I help men recover from toxic relationships. And today I'm going to show you something that most men don't even see. And it's those invisible psychological demands inside toxic relationships that can make you lose your power, your confidence, and your sense of self. And there's a name for this. It's called demand characteristics. And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 of these invisible strings that can pull you out of who you are and into a version of you that you don't even recognize anymore and you don't even seem to control anymore. And once you see these strings, they'll start to lose their power to puppet you. So the first demand is to keep her regulated. And this is where it all starts. So one of my clients recently told me that at the beginning of the relationship, it was intense. There was great chemistry, amazing sex, connection. He felt chosen and in love. And then one day, out of the blue, they're at a family reunion and she accuses him of hitting on her cousin. It's completely false, not based in any reality whatsoever. So he pushes back. He tells her it's not true, and the whole situation escalates. So he pivots. He starts reassuring her, calming her down, trying to end the outburst. And that moment matters because now it's not about what's true. It's about what keeps her calm and keeps things from getting worse. She spirals, he soothes. She accuses, he explains. She withdraws, he chases. And without realizing it, he adapts himself around her. He's no longer showing up as himself, he's showing up as her regulator. Second is the demand to chase her. So at the beginning, she's all in. It's constant attention, affection, contact. She's pulling you in closer, and the feeling is mutual. But then suddenly she pulls away. So, one of my other clients recently described his experience, and what he said was that they're in love, everything's going well, and they have a trip planned. She's excited, they're talking about everything they're going to do together, and there's lots of anticipation, lots of sexual tension and energy. And then a few days before the trip, she goes quiet. Short replies, delayed texts, and something feels off. So he asks, what's going on? And now she's overwhelmed. She's not sure about the trip. She needs space. And he immediately feels that drop in interest and energy in his nervous system. So he leans in. He tries to fix it. He starts chasing. And that's the demand. It's the unwritten rule that when she withdraws, it's your job to pursue, to prove you care, and to pull her back in. And over time, this doesn't just condition the relationship, it conditions your nervous system because every time she pulls away, you panic, and every time she comes back, you feel relief. So the more you chase her, the more control she gains over your nervous system. And if you recognize yourself in this, you're not crazy, you're being conditioned. Third is the demand to anticipate her needs, her reactions, and her expectations. So this is where you start predicting because now that you've already learned that it's your job to regulate her emotions and to chase her, now another demand silently gets placed on you. Now you have to prevent it from happening in the first place. So you watch her tone, you monitor her mood, you replay conversations. Did I say something wrong? Is she pulling away again? And you start adjusting. You try to figure out what she's going to complain about next and try to fix it in advance. You try to remove stressors and triggers and anticipate what she wants and needs in any given moment, which is always shifting depending on her mood. Over time, you're walking on eggshells, being careful about what you say, how you say it, when you say it. You're scanning for landmines constantly, trying to stay one step ahead to avoid the next blow up. But look at what's happening. You're not showing up as yourself anymore. And the more you live like that, the more you lose yourself. 4 is the demand to be the rescuer. And this is where it stops feeling like a problem and starts feeling like a purpose because she's not just distant or reactive. She's struggling. She's overwhelmed. She's misunderstood. She's hurt. She's traumatized. And you see the pain behind her behavior. And something in you responds to that. And you start shielding her. So she overreacts, says something hurtful, creates conflict. And the unwritten rule is not only are you going to tolerate it, you're going to enable her bad behavior by making excuses for her, taking responsibility, apologizing, and absorbing the impact. And over time, she doesn't have to repair or reflect or change because she knows you're going to rescue her and protect her when you should be protecting yourself. So now you no longer ask, is this relationship working for me? You're always asking, how do I make it work for her? And that's the shift because now leaving her wouldn't just feel like a loss, it would feel like an epic failure, like you're abandoning someone who needs you. And that's the demand. The fifth demand is to constantly prove yourself and prove your worth. And this is where the bar never stops moving because now it's not enough to be loving and consistent. Now you have to prove it constantly. Prove that you're loyal, prove that you care, you keep your word, you show up, you stay steady, and still you're constantly being questioned, accused, and positioned as a bad guy. Why didn't you text? Who are you with? Are you sure you're telling me the truth? So, what do? You try harder. You explain more, reassure more, show up even stronger. But the tests never end because it's not about evidence or truth. It's about keeping you in a position where you have to earn your worth. And the more you try to prove yourself, the more you accept a relationship where your loyalty and your character is constantly on trial and hers isn't. That's the demand. Keep proving yourself while she gets to do whatever she wants whenever she wants. 6 is the demand to betray your own reality. So at some point, what you see and what she sees will not match up. You remember what happened. You know what was said. You feel something isn't right, but it always gets flipped, twisted, and turned against you. And now you're in a position. Trust yourself and risk losing her, or agree with her version of reality in order to make the relationship work. So, what do? You start doubting yourself. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe it's me. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at your own behavior and your own reactions, but in these types of toxic dynamics, you start deferring to her version of reality and you stop standing in what you know is true. And that's the shift because now it's not just your behavior that's being shaped, it's your perception, it's your memory, it's your instincts. And that's the demand. Don't trust yourself. 7 is the demand to put her above everyone and everything else. And here's where your world starts to shrink because now everything revolves around her needs, her emotions, her reactions. And if she's not okay, nothing else is okay. So you adjust, you cancel plans, you pull back from friends and family, you start second guessing your decisions based on how she might react. And slowly your priorities do shift your time, your values, your relationships. And that's the unspoken but constant demand. Prioritize me over everything else, always, no matter the circumstances. So let's say your daughter is hospitalized or your dad just died, but she has a hair appointment or a birthday party, and somehow that becomes the priority. Not because it makes sense, not because you don't care about the people in your life, but because you've been trained to revolve around her. And that's the demand. Choose me, even when it costs you everything and everyone else that matters to you. And the more you do this, the more isolated you become, and the easier it is to lose yourself completely. And that's the ultimate demand, that you abandon yourself to maintain the relationship. But here's the reality that most men don't want to face. The moment connection requires self betrayal, it's captivity. So I want to ask you, which of these demands has the strongest grip on you? Put it in the comment section below, because the goal isn't just to see this, it's to make sure it never controls you again. If you need help breaking these patterns for good, consider reaching out to a therapist in your area or check out my toxic relationship recovery program that I linked below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.